For about 6 years, I didn't use social media. I didn't post selfies, outfits of the day, didn't share food. Just I just didn't do that stuff. Granted, I had Facebook, and one day I just stopped posting. But now I'm Soul. I'm an energy healer. Please subscribe because here we combine the inner work and outer work to become the best versions of ourselves. So, if you needed to desperately get a hold of me, you either needed my personal number or a carrier pigeon. And at this present moment, there are 37 contacts in my phone, 6 of which aren't even human. The carrier pigeon would have probably been your better option. A year ago, when I started my online business, I was like, "Oh yeah, social media, that's a thing." So at that time, I was lacking. I felt behind, and what I was really lacking and felt what I felt lacking most was time, money, and courage. So, working full time, having other side projects like volunteering, being a mom, belonging to the sandwich generation, so being a caretaker for um, parents and elderly, I knew that time could be managed. I knew that time can be fluid. For money, I understood that there will always be a budget. Doesn't matter your income, there will always be a budget. There better be a budget. The budget might look a little bit different. There might be some extra zeros. There might be some negatives, but that's something else. That's not a problem. Um, so, but it took me a while to accept that both time and money were constant, never-ending factors. Once I understood that, then it just made it easier to accept um, undergoing the tasks that come with that. Courage, on the other hand, might as well been an unwelcome squatter in my mental space. It's present, um, but just present yet absent at the same time. So, do you need courage to be an audience? To be in an audience? Usually, no, right? Like, you might usually feel safe being in a crowd of people, being amongst an audience. So it makes it, with that in mind, it makes it a little bit easier to show up for yourself. Right now, like for me, it's really easy to crank out these videos because no one's watching. And in the future, as time goes on, it will still be easy to crank out these videos because I'll have the time, money, team to team technology to continue to crank out videos, better videos. So in today's world, I do believe being online in some capacity is a way to help alleviate um, some of our personal daily struggles. If you set up an online business correctly, we're not bound by time, money, location. And for some of us, some people genuinely want to be famous. And my best friend opened my eyes to a really great perspective that having an online fan base, you all of a sudden have countless people who care about you. And if you're having a rough day, you can turn to them for a source of joy. I'm naturally an introvert and I prefer the company of me, myself, and I, and occasionally my husband and my son. So starting an online business, I realized there's still so many people to interact with. And then setting up so many things. I've, talking to my photography and producer friends, um, always reminding me to like look down the barrel of the camera, which I always just struggle with. It's just not a thing that I is comfortable for me. If you want that freedom of time, freedom of money, freedom that comes with location, if you're looking for that die hard fan base, you know, showing up for yourself is the missing piece. It's the foundation of what that looks like. Um, and we can start with just 3 months. We can start with 90 days. We can start with 75 days, whatever it is. Um, what is it? One of my mentors is like, "Yeah, some people can't even brush their teeth for 90 days." So, picking it as one task and doing that one task 90 days in a row without fail, it's not easy, right? Simple and easy are two very different things. But we can set up thought processes and systems that make it easier. So we can have no excuses other than to be courageous and to be present for ourselves. So, for example, my phone only rings for phone calls and encouraging reminders that I have set up for myself. And I mean, with 37 contacts and only six of them not even being human, I mean, like, no one's calling me. um, and these courageous reminders that I have, they go off almost every hour to remind me, to ask me, asking myself, am I being the person that I want to become? Because if I'm not being that person right now, if I'm not making those decisions right now, every hour or so, then I'm obviously not on my way to becoming that future person. Additionally, I use body doubling and focused work, and I stick to those appointments. Because if I was my future self, then my future self doesn't miss appointments. I also give and receive weekly energy healing sessions. Those are the top two things I do without fail, the bare minimum inner and outer work um, tasks that keep things moving in the right direction. So, what courageous actions make up who you are? Let us know in the comments, and I will see you next week.